A political earthquake is rocking one of Nigeria's most crucial states. In Rivers State, the battle between the executive and the legislature has escalated to a point of no return, threatening to plunge the state into a profound constitutional crisis. The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Martin Zamewuli, has launched a searing accusation against Governor Siminalayi Fubara, alleging a direct assault on its democratic governance. This comes just as the Assembly has for a second time initiated impeachment proceedings against both the governor and his deputy. This morning, we ask, is this a necessary constitutional check or a dangerous breakdown of power? What does this mean for the people of Rivers State, and what precedent does this set for Nigerian democracy? So joining us to unpack this deepening crisis is a PDP stalwart, Comrade Daboikiabo Warmate. You're welcome to Daybreak, Comrade.
Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade, for coming in this morning. Happy New Year. We're glad to have you here. Each time we have the issues concerning the PDP, you're always here to help us analyze and unpack. But then let's move to Rivers State, because that's our focus this morning. So, Comrade, from everything that we've seen, we've heard, everyone is observing, everyone is analyzing the issues, in Rivers politics. Now, do you think that the crisis happening is about policy agreement or struggle for power, or the interest of the people is being put in front to make sure that when it comes to 2027, the people of Rivers State will have it smooth and easy? What is your take?
Well, let me also add that I'm from Rivers State, so it's my state, and the truth remains that it's not policy, neither is it in the interest of the people. It is in the interest of an individual, which Rivers people are frowning at, that you cannot just wake up one day and say you want to impeach the governor under the guise of frivolous allegation against the governor. You see, the truth remains that when I listen to the speaker talking, it is very clear that they are not happy with the governor. But it is not because of what the governor has done. It is the issue is between, let's be frank, is between the governor and the FCT minister. Issue of power play. We shouldn't deceive Nigerians. That is what is happening in Rivers State as we speak today. And the FCT minister needs to be cautioned. That is the truth. He needs to be cautioned because, you see, even Hitler at a point failed. So you cannot reign forever. He said it in his own words, the FCT minister, that godfatherism will never, he used the word never, happen in Rivers State. He even went as far as saying that Obaseki should be voted for the singular reason of resisting godfatherism in the person of Oshumle in Edo State. That is what is happening in Rivers State. It just, being painted as a constitutional breaches, the governor spending out of non-appropriation, this thing. Then they know the truth. The governor, based on section 122, can spend without appropriation for the next 6 months. It is there in the constitution. If you want, I'll read it to you. The governor has a constitutional right. In fact, the constitution calls it default appropriation. He can spend. So on what ground do you want to impeach the governor? There is no grounds to impeach the governor except that they claim agreement. The question I want to ask, who is that person in Rivers State that somebody did not make? Would the FCT minister come up and say nobody made him? He cannot say that. We have 5 governors, democratically elected governors, from old to new Rivers State. Only Chief Mefodokilo is late. Chief Rufus Adados is alive. Chief Dr. Odili is alive. Amechi is alive. Himself is alive. And you are saying that Rivers people want somebody else to come and say they are stakeholders. Where are these former governors? It's power play. It's greed at the highest level. So Nigerians should not be deceived what is happening in Rivers. It's just unfortunate that the governor left my party hoping that he would get protection, went to APC, and today we are seeing him still struggling, suffering what he suffered while he was in PDP. And we ask the question, where is the president? Is it until there is a reaction from the opposite side and the extension, the president will come in? Sure, we will not accept another state of emergency in Rivers State. And sure, the governor is the people's governor, and the people believe in his leadership. So the assembly members, see, let me tell you, none of them, if today they will say, we should try election and transmit the result electronically, all those assembly members sitting down there, they cannot win their constituency. I dare them. Let's do a mock election. So it's something that has been taken too far. Some of us has defended the FCT minister. There is no young person within my range that has defended the FCT minister like I have done. But there is a time you come up and look at this thing. The truth, when I saw people reach out to me and sent me the agreement, the purported agreement, that he said the governor did not honor, for crying out loud. In law, there is what they call force majeure. He did that when he was in PDP, and it's now in APC. And if you are depriving someone from coming to serve his people for second term because he did not serve you, let me tell you what they sent to me. Even the FCT minister, His Excellency by Wike, his son that he wants to hand over House of Rep seat to Inobiakpo will not obey that listing. His friends.
Okay.
His friends will even say, give me this and no, we should be trying.
Before I let my colleague in, I want to follow up on this. I'm going to put you on the hot spot.
Please go ahead.
I love the fact that you're saying that you have seen this agreement, because each time we come to talk about this issue, I always ask, what are these agreements that is causing this tension? If you can just release just 3 out of the agreement that was being, written between Wike and Fubara as to why he should even be the governor and continue as the governor of the state, please, for clarity's sake, because Nigerians are asking a lot of questions. This issue is driving into an issue that at the end of the day, if care is not taken, the people of Rivers State will lost.
Actually, yes, because this is the first time we're actually hearing an agreement between the predecessor and the successor.
So can you just give us three
from what they sent to me, and it has been alleged, is that number 1, the governor will not return. Number 2, that the immediate past traditional chairman of the Rivers State Council of Traditional Rulers, Chief Sergeant Ahuse, should be returned as the chairman. And the local government, which is already, he has done, he has allowed the FCT minister to give it to all his people. Those are and other issues that he will not have. The chief of staff that is working with the governor will not return. The secretary to the governor in the person of Dana Gogo will not return. Edison, chief of staff, will not return. And you strangulate, subjugate the governor to that point. I'm telling you, even his son that he's going with to thank people according to him will not obey that agreement. His own son. How much more? Someone of that age and a governor, for crying out loud, that office should be respected. It's not about Fubara. It's about the office of the governor of Rivers State. And it shouldn't be desecrated and treated like a class monitor position by giving such condition. It is the governor's wish. If the people of Rivers State said, come back, fine. But not as a result of an agreement, and you want to enforce it by all illegal or legal means. No, it's enough. Enough is enough. The president should caution the FCT minister. Anything happen in Rivers State is the president. Nigerians should know this. That any violence or any crisis that happens in Rivers State, the president should be held responsible, because Wike is not the president. Wike is a minister and is answerable to the president.
Okay, let me.
It's not elected.
Comrade, let me just move away a little from that and ask this question. Now, lawmakers in Rivers State cited gross misconduct and extra budgetary spending as a key allegation for the impeachment proceeding. So, given the previous court orders and the presidential interventions, last year, how legally sound are these new charges?
I said it is frivolous. It is very myopic. It is primitive. Those allegations is just to serve a purpose. It's a special purpose vehicle, that allegation. And I want to say that the speaker, Martin Sameule, is just eager to be governor through the back door, and he will never be governor through the back door. He will never be. That's why the SVT minister should send him other message and see if he'll go with that level of enthusiasm. It's because he's going to be a primary beneficiary of this issue. Okay, let's assume, do not consider the governor, as they allege, committed those offenses. What about the deputy governor? In connivance, in what sense? It sounds so stupid. Let me say this. You see, if you look at the budget, you talk about the budget, I've referenced section, 122, that the governor have the powers to spend from the Consolidated Revenue Fund money up to 6 months at the expiration of the budget before the passing of the next budget. If there is any delay, it's there. If you want me, I can read it for Nigerians to see. 6 months, not just 1 month, 6 good months. In fact, the Constitution refers to it as default appropriation. Now you are talking about the governor coming to, present the 2025 budget to you. It's an insult to the president. The action of the state assembly members is an insult to the president. It's an insult to the institution that is their senior, which is the Senate and the House of Reps. How? This budget was prepared by SIM, modified by IBAS, the sole administrator, presented to the president. The president transmitted it to the National Assembly. The National Assembly passed the budget. And today, as we speak, we don't have appropriation bill. What we have is appropriation law in Rivers State. Then, if they want the governor to represent the law, then they should first of all go and tell the president to withdraw what he presented to the National Assembly. Then the governor can present another budget. Okay. Otherwise, it's a law already. And that is whatever the governor spent from there is constitutional. Except they are saying what IBAS spent is also unconstitutional. Meanwhile, it has been alleged that IBAS gave them 350 million, gave them SUV. They should tell us what that money is spent. And other money that a project he claimed to have done. Is it constitutional? Then they should start with IBAS. They should call him to book because he presented the bill. The appropriation bill for the president to send to National Assembly, and the National Assembly approve it. And that ought to slide. The lifespan of that budget is from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025.
Okay, now, before I allow me, let me just ask this question. Now, you said President Tinubu hasn't done really anything about the issue. But yesterday there was a report that the Rivers State chapter of the All Progressive Congress has rejected the impeachment process initiated by the Rivers State House of Assembly against Governor Siminalayi and his deputy, describing it as destabilizing and unnecessary. And then again, in rumors yesterday, especially in social media, I beg your pardon, we saw news that the president said the impeachment attempt is laughable. So will you say that it's a way of like chipping in, how can I even put it? It's a way of the president, you understand, trying to intervene or something.
You see, if the president really says it's laughable, I want to agree with him.
Rumors, actually.
It's really laughable. It's laughable. And I think those people should be given a slot in Nollywood to act drama. Because what they did is just a drama presentation. You cannot just get up one morning. Now, let me say this. In fact, as long as the law is concerned and the office of the governor is concerned, they've not submitted any notice of impeachment. And I'll tell you why. It is against every, moral sense, and even in administration, that you address a man as a woman. Look at the letter they sent to the governor. They said, Madam, we don't have a governor that is a Mrs. No. We take an
maybe they were referring to the deputy.
No, in the governor's letter, which we saw, they said, Madam. Our governor is not a madam. Our governor, if you don't want to show respect to him, you want to call him Mr. Our governor is Mr. That letter is not for our governor. It's for maybe it's a figment of the imagination of a governor they have in mind, not Rivers State governor, because Rivers State governor is a male. If you look at INEC publication, they put gender of the aspirant, they put male, Siminalayi Fubara, not female. So they should go and check that. This is what was done under pressure or rush, whatever, But our governor is not a maid. Nigerians should know that, see the letter, the people that say they want to impeach a governor that misappropriated whatever, allegedly. Meanwhile, they cannot even sit down to correct, know that the governor of Rivers State is a maid and not a female.
I mean, the deputy is a female,
madam.
you know.
All right then, comrade. You know, when this is...
So that letter, as we stand now, is invalid. Nobody, even when you are spelling somebody's name, official letter, you make mistake of just a letter. It's not the person. Absolutely. So it's not the governor they are writing to. They know who they are writing to, but as long as Rivers people are concerned, the governor has not received any notice of impeachment.
Comrade, you are in the PDP.
Yes, please.
And, you know, so far you have, you know, I don't want to use the word support Wike, yes, you know, because you also said that. And then when this issue started, we saw, you know, the state of emergency in the state, and then, you know, the reconciliation and the agreement on the table stating what Fubara should do and not do before, you know, and what have you, based on the agreements that they have. Now, do you think that what triggered Wike is the fact that Fubara defected from the PDP to the APC that threatened his leverage towards him? Because when you look at the thank you visit Wike has been going around all the local government areas in Rivers State, it just shows that it's more of, you know, trying to announce his presence politically in Rivers State. And, you know, some critics argue that that thank you visit is even partly a campaign for the president.
It's against the Electoral Act.
Absolutely. So what is your take on that? Do you think that, you know, Fubara's defection from the PDP to the APC triggered all of this, you know, tensions that we're seeing now from Wike?
Yes, I will say, and that is what we have heard, that the decamping from PDP to APC triggered it, and when the governor made the statement that now is the 001 in, what is it called, Rivers State, triggered all this. And that led to the FCT minister's so-called, what is it called, thank you visit. It is absolutely against the Electoral Act. And I want to say this, the INEC has laid a wrong precedence, because if anybody do that, they have reference to make that you did not arrest so person, because it's very clear which thank you visit. You didn't thank them since close the election. You are saying you are going on time. What kind of thank you? Go and visit them in their house. If you want to wait through the election, you didn't thank them after the election, immediately after the election. That is what should be done, not now. This is a clear campaign. You heard him saying, I support Tinubu. You heard him say, you don't, the INEC Act in section 84, it made it clear, under the guise, through even a proxy, you don't make such statement. And it is going around making such statement. And INEC is sitting down there watching. If another opposition party like my party do that, by now you would have heard that we have been sanctioned or something else. So that is wrong. INEC needs to stop that. Number two, the one you talk about, the government, yes, that is what triggered it. From what we see, it's nothing more that maybe Wike permutation has been distorted by the political permutation, by the decamping of the governor from PDP to APC, and it has given the governor more leverage and protection, which maybe the FCT minister is not comfortable with, that the governor has some protection right now instead of his former position where he was, you know, at the mercy of him in regards protection and what have you. So that is what it is, and that is what we've heard from the grapevine. So
now let's look at the House of Assembly factor. I mean, coming with the impeachment for the governor and, you know, so many other things, do you think that the National Assembly is playing a major role independently, knowing fully well that, you know, the people of Rivers State will always be at the receiving end at the end of the day? Do you think that, you know, it has to do with an individual influence or for the interest of the people?
It's not what is happening in Rivers State by the assembly members. I can tell you, it's not in the interest of the Rivers people. It's just in the interest of one strong man. That is the truth. So, and that is why you see, I said the president ought to intervene immediately. See, that was how they overlooked it, and in Second Republic, you saw what happened in the Western region. Because people are angry that somebody is becoming too overbearing. And this is a state whereby You have people that, it's not that Wike is the first governor of Rivers State, for crying out loud. We have governors that are still alive. That some of them even testify, even said in his own interview with one of your sister stations, that immediately leave office, he will leave. That if you have nothing to hide, why will he want to produce a successor? Today, you are doing exactly opposite of all that you said. All. And not allowing the state to have peace. Because the action is a threat to development. Investors will not want to come, knowing that there is political instability. So, it's the Rivers people that are suffering, and that's why we are calling on the Rivers, the president, to stem the tide at this stage. People are not happy. If people react, they'll say, it's the governor. It's not about the governor. What people want is peace. If you watch under this government, there have been peace until this political, power struggle came up. So the president has a serious role to play. The other time he has intervened. We are urging him not to intervene in form of state of emergency. He should intervene by calling his own staff, the FCT minister, to order. Then if the FCT minister refuses to obey him, because it seems the FCT minister is challenging the president, he said nobody will give him instruction. For crying out loud, even God in the Bible, which I believe, said, come, let's reason. And he said nobody can give him order. Then there is no president.
But comrade, why?
He should not. The president should call him to order and let peace reign in Rivers State. We want peace in that state for development.
Okay. But comrade, why do you think that Wike is, so bold to say that no one can call him to order? Is this something that Wike knows about the president or this present-day administration that,
that made
he's
him had
banking on and having that audacity and foundation?
All of us are surprised. But we know one trajectory is that Wike always will tell you, when you attack him, he will tell you, this person, on so time, the person came to my house and was eating and he was oil, and this thing, he will tell you the time, or he will tell you, see somebody. I was a student, leader. I was Rivers State student president twice and vice president. And this person that they said helped him to become the local government chairman was a senator represented as senatorial district. I went to meet him when I was student leader. One of the finest politicians and gentlemen we have in Rivers State, in the person of Senator John Azuta Mbata, a president pro tempore of the Senate once. Finest man. Immediately he stood against Wike. Wike said he came to my house for a contract. He said, so Wike has something against the president. If the president, he doesn't have anything against the president, will not be that bold. And maybe that is what is making the president to be afraid to caution him. Okay. That is otherwise, what else?
Okay, let's talk about the implications of all this political fight. Rivers State is a vital hub for Nigeria's oil and gas industry and marine economy. Just like Maimuna said earlier, it's a very rich state. So now, what are the economic consequences of this prolonged crisis, including capital flight and weakened investors' confidence?
You see, it will weaken investors' confidence, because one thing investors check first is political stability before they look at your judicial system. First thing is political stability, peace, and your judicial system. How transparent, how incorruptible your judges are. That is what they look before they come to invest. And that tells you that this is a political instability that is being created, allegedly, by the FCT minister. So if this thing gets an investor, the investor will first of all pause to watch what is really going on. Let me observe before I come in. And talking about that, look at the oil. If there is any crisis today, Nigeria, if Rivers State sneeze, Nigeria will cash coal. Because believe it or not, today we still depend on oil. And majority of the oil comes from Rivers State. And the people are not happy. As I speak with you, the people, forget the jamboree we see on the media and everything. The truth, go to the ground and hear what the people are complaining. So the thing is that it will affect investment into Rivers State, and that's why some of us are angry about it. That no, at this point, give peace a chance. Instead, if you don't want the governor to bring your own candidate and challenge it, but not saying that you should abide by an agreement that force majeure has, happened to it. So it is something that we are pleading, urging the president, please address this issue. So investors that ought to come to Rivers State will not miss that opportunity to have those investors. Because we want peace, and investors also want peace, so they can come and do their business peacefully.
Talking about,
comrade,
okay, go ahead.
Comrade, the National Democratic Coalition, which is NADECO, you know, they believe sacking Wike would calm the tension. That is, the president should sack Wike as the FCT minister, and they believe that when he does that, it's going to calm the tension in Rivers State. Now, from a political and also a legal standpoint, would removing him actually resolve the crisis in Rivers State, or we're going to see more of him going back to align and bring more strategy in creating a lot of chaos come 2027 general elections?
In the world, I'm a student of history. I study history not just at almost going to PhD level. Now, let me tell you this. Outside God in this world, Nigerian president is the strongest president.
Absolutely.
And if he said, I will not take this nonsense to stop today, Wike has no power to continue to do what he's doing. If removing him will bring peace to Rivers State, whatever that will bring peace to Rivers State, the president should do it. That is what we want. We want peace, absolute peace in our state. We are tired of this political tension, this political crisis in our state. We want investors to come so young people will have job opportunities. We don't want this tension. So if it means sacking the FCT minister that will bring peace, please, Mr. President, go ahead. Because what you should look at first is the interest of the people. Providing security, it is there in our constitution. Providing security, welfare for the people. And whatever happens in Rivers State will definitely affect this nation. So Mr. President, wherever he is, should immediately take action, not just a press release that is laughable. Yes, it's laughable. The president is correct about that. But we should go beyond releasing press statement that is laughable and caution wherever we feel that is wrong in this issue.
All right, former leaders have called for dialogue and a peaceful resolution. So what practical steps can these two, Fubara and Wike, take to de-escalate tensions and prioritize the state's interests?
No, from what we know and from what we have seen, it's a simple thing. The governor wants to come back. The FCT minister don't want him to come back because he feels he's not loyal enough to him. But the same governor that said godfatherism will not, will never thrive in Rivers State. He advised Ambode to fight against the president before he became president, that he should resist it. He commended Obaseki for resisting it. And so why today do you want to do what you advise people to resist? So the simple truth is that he has said that never accept this agreement, no peace. So I don't know. Maybe the president can talk to him to change his mind and allow peace to reign. Otherwise, the president has resolved this thing. The only thing that we're talking about today, you will not allow, he gave you, nobody will do that. You gave you all the local government chairmen. The assembly members are with you. From what we saw, he said you want to take the commissioners. As I repeat it, that even his son, the friends of his son say, your papa don't do too much, I beg, give us something. Don't want to ask him, and before you know, you will appoint one or two friends. So even your son, it will be difficult to give him that kind of condition. We should be frank.
So, comrade, I want to bring the son in here because there are lots of rumors, when you listen to people talk about the crisis in Rivers State and, the so-called thank you tour that Wike is going around the local government in Rivers State. So there are rumors that, Wike is gearing up and bringing up his son to, fit into the House of Representatives Assembly in Rivers State. Some are even saying that being that he's having issues with Fubara, it's a clear indication that, he feels that the trust would come straight from his blood rather than an outsider to cover, all the things, whatever things that has been in Rivers State coming from his administration. How true is that rumor?
Well, we don't know how true it is, but we've seen the song go around to the point that party leaders will sit at the back and the son will sit with him, to that extent. We don't know how true it is, but we also heard the rumor that he wants to use him to replace the minority leader in the House of Rep, and that is the issue. In fact, we heard that there have been issues because people that have been loyal and on queue wanting to take over from the minority leader are asking, what about we? Are we not good to go there? So there is this rumor that is going around. We don't know of a truth if his son is going, but his son has the constitutional right to contest. There is no doubt about that. Whether his father is involved or not, he has the right to contest. But the truth remains that there are people that have been with you. There are people that have been with you all this while. What is their fate? That wants to go to the House of Rep, that are eminently qualified and expose what are their fates. And this is the kind of politics that encourage people not to be loyal. Because when I work with you, I get to a point when it's to you now know that you have children. When it gets to receive bullets, you will not take me, you will not take your children. When it gets to that point, you say I should go. But when it comes to a position or juicy ones, you will not take your children or your family members to those positions. No. But that doesn't mean that the boy does not have the right to contest. It's his constitutional right. And if he wants to contest, beautiful. If the people of Obiakpo said they want to vote him, good and fine. But one thing is expedient here, that godfatherism, Italianism, Hitler will not work in Rivers State, no matter the pressure. Okay. It will not. Okay. No governor has done it, and no governor has succeeded. No governor have tried it. What the FCT minister is doing today, no governor. From the inception of Rivers State, I mean from Menford-Okilo to today, no governor. And only one of them is late, and that is Chief Menford-Okilo. If not, every democratic governor of Rivers State, from old to new Rivers State, are alive. And none of them are even with the FCT minister. Even the one of the person that I was singing praises to, that is the person of His Excellency, Chief Odile, Peter Odile. It's not with him. So what is the issue? Why can't you understand? If the FCT, the governor has offended you or something, why not call him and say, come, I don't like this, I have agreement. But when you become overbearing, nobody, the governor should not, Wike should not think that Amelo is getting there. Amelo may be even worse than Sim, because he's politically exposed. He was a councillor. So it might even be worse. He just waited, let me clinch that office. Sim is a political neophyte. He's a public servant that came, he was brought by the governor, thanks to him, just like other people made him. He also made Sim. It's not a big deal. But that does not mean that the governor should not appreciate him. But that does not also mean that he should be overbearing. That is the area we're having issue with him.
Yes, please.
You're talking about, you've been talking about presidential intervention. Yes. But then again, I believe that everybody has a role to play, from the civil society organizations to traditional rulers to even the citizens. So now, what role can all this I mentioned play, and thought leaders in the River State to have a role to play? So what role can they all play in demanding accountability and a peaceful resolution from the political actors?
No, you see, the only thing we can do now as a people, both civil society, the leaders in Rivers State, the youth, is to call on the president. It's for us to just call on the president. Because it's the president that has the final say. We can make noise. We are making noise. They have started going on with impeachment. They have served a notice. But if the president says stop, and APC is failing the governor and Rivers people, the governor went there for protection, to our understanding, but he's not getting the protection. For the party, you see, let me say this. Those assembly members did not decamp from PDP to APCO. They decamp from PDP to Wike. They decamp from, that is what they did. Their loyalty is not to any party. They were not loyal to PDP, and now they are not loyal to APC with their action. I'm not just saying their action. If not, you are in the same party with the governor. You are in the same party with the governor. If there is any issue, why not reach out to your principal, the FCT minister, reach out to the president, that see, the governor is not paying our allowances as they claim, or the governor is, the president will call him to order. But you did not, you rush. Or some of us see, maybe it's a strategy to get the president's attention to go back to the to the negotiation table and see if they can push some things forward. That is what some of us think, because you cannot fathom you just waking up after resolving the crisis, putting Rivers State on the bad light for us to taste the bitter pill of a state of emergency. They don't deserve, in fact, those assembly members don't deserve to come back. Because one of all the things they are pushing for is for them to come back. None of them deserve to come back.
Time is against us, but yes. Quickly, I want to get your thoughts on this quickly, 1 minute, so that we can wrap up. What are the reactions of the people of Rivers State concerning this issue? Who do you think, they are siding, and who will they side at the end of the day?
I can tell you without any doubt. In fact, Rivers people have gone beyond political sympathy. They have put their state first. That no, enough is enough. That nobody should tamper with the governor. We will decide who wins. We want the governor to continue, finish his term peacefully. You saw how the governor was performing before he became to APC. He was everywhere checking projects and doing everything. So I can tell you in summary that Rivers people, 98, or let me not exaggerate, say 95% of Rivers people are behind the governor. In fact, what is making some prominent people not to come out is because the governor is not pushing. If the governor is as pushy as the minister, the president would have rushed down, no? Because Rivers State would have boiled to the point the president will not stay in his vacation and rush down. But they are saying the governor restraining himself, so a lot of people are coming. But majority of Rivers people are with the governor. No doubt about that. You can send your independent investigators to go and do that. You see, it's not what we see on media.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you, comrade, for coming to Daybreak, and thank you for giving us your profound insight on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, comrade.
Thank you for having me.